Now News Extra and brought to you by Gering Civic Center. Here's Kevin Mooney.
Thank you, Dennis. Good morning, everyone. Kathy Krupinski is here from Keep Scottsbluff Gering Beautiful, and we're going to talk about some of the grants she's received for programs she wants to do this spring and summer, as well as membership. Maybe we ought to talk about membership first.
Kevin, that would be great.
All right, let's talk about membership. How easy is it to be a member?
It is so easy to be a member. It takes nothing. All you have to do is call me and write me a check. How easy is that?
I did that today.
You did, and I thank you very, very much. Our grants, you've heard me say this forever and ever and ever. To be able to do the projects that we do, we have to get the grant funds, but not only get the grant funds, we have to have match. And this is where the membership comes in the golf tournament, in these different little fundraisers we try to do. We have to make up 76% of our grants in match money. Or match they call it non-cash funds, but you still have to have that match. Yeah. So that's quite a bit, Kev, for us.
Yeah, it is quite a bit. It's fairly easy to be a member. It's inexpensive.
And we're tax deductible.
Tax deductible. For example, a student or senior citizen only has to pay $15 a year, $25 a year for an individual, $35 for families, a nonprofit $75. It goes up a little bit when you're a business or a corporation, right. But nevertheless, it's a donation that's well worth it.
It is, because, again, all of our big activities are coming up for the Great American Cleanup, which starts March 1st and continues that 3 months. And, again, think of what's going to happen. We know we're going to be cleaning up our community. We're going to be out there doing presentations, educating kids, adults. We're going to be having our big Earth Day celebration at Main Street Market on April 12th. We have our pharmaceutical take back, which is so important, coming up May 3rd. So all of these things, your membership goes for that, for our match, so we can bring the programs to our community.
All right. We're going to talk about some of the grants that she's received recently and what the programs are this spring right after this.
With 20 years of legendary meeting success, high-speed wireless internet for 200 computers, Polycom video system on 5 jumbo screens, and the catering overachievers, the meat shop, cooking, you need to call West Nebraska's premier multifunction facility for your next business meeting. Call 436-6888 or visit www.geringciviccenter.com. The Gering Civic Center, beyond marvelous.
We are back on News Extra this morning. Kathy Krupinski is here from Keep Scottsbluff Gering Beautiful. We mentioned the membership drive. Make sure you get a hold of her if you want to be a member. 632-4649. Very vital for her to have that match for all these grants she gets for some of the wonderful programs that are run by Keep Scottsbluff Gering Beautiful. And one of the grants you got was one over $50,000,
yes,
right?
We were very excited. We got full funding on that grant. That's our public education grant. And, of course, we know that if we don't educate, we don't change behavior. So that's so important. But, yes, we're very, very excited about that. That will enable us to do a lot in the community this spring, the rest of the year, actually. So we're excited about that one.
And a lot of that goes back to the schools and so forth, the education of the kids who then educate their parents.
Yes,
on and
yes,
on, right?
on and on and on. And again, I have to, really say this again. I can't do it without the partnerships. It has to be all the partnerships we have in the community that makes this program work, because honestly, it wouldn't get done without everyone working together.
All right. Now, let's go through some of the programs. Earth Day is, first of all, you have the big proclamation next Wednesday, right?
That's going to happen with the mayors in the community, and we're going to proclaim the Great American Cleanup 3 months in our community.
All right. And then after that, things get going in April.
Yes, and we start to make, education events happen right away now in March. If anybody wants us, make sure you call us. We're always available to come into the schools, to come into any type of group that wants us, including adults.
Okay. And then Earth Day is April 12th, so you want to mark that down.
It's a little early this year because of the Easter weekend, so we're doing it just a little bit early. Make sure, we'll have a full list of things that we're going to collect and do, but make sure you're saving some of that stuff and make sure you dispose of it properly. So it's a fun day at Main Street Market. And again, Kev, look how that's been so successful.
Yeah, it has. And that's one of the big things about that day is electronics, right?
And that's, as we know, a big deal. We're a throwaway society, so let's make sure we dispose of it properly.
Yeah. I have an old TV that I somehow got to get to you and get disposed of properly.
And I do want to mention this because otherwise somebody will say, oh, we never heard that. Donations will be welcome, as always, for that. Because, again, I need that darn match to be able to pay for this stuff.
Last year, you had 73,000 pounds of electronics that were disposed of.
Can you believe it?
That's pretty amazing.
We do more than Omaha and Lincoln do sometimes.
Yeah.
It's the education.
Yeah.
So
obviously the community has been educated on this is the time to do it. So then you have the big pharmaceutical thing, another date to write down. If you have pharmaceuticals, almost everybody does. It's expired and you need to get rid of it.
Right.
Last year you had 2,500 pounds of pharmaceuticals disposed of. This year the date is May 3rd.
Yes, and that's a big day. Remember, we don't want to see anything flushed. That's really big. And of course, one of our new partners for the last few years, we have Main Street Market, but we also have the North Platte Natural Resource District. So we're so thankful for their help too. Again, it's a partnership with all kinds of folks out there, and that just has to continue, whether we're talking about memberships or what we can do to help each other to keep our community clean and beautiful.
All right. Hazardous waste, you're working on that, Grant?
We're working on that one. If you remember, last year was our first year, and it was very, very successful. If any of you showed up at that, the cars were lined up way, way out. We collected, I think it was 12,400 gallons of paint alone. It was amazing. They came out of the woodwork, but it's great. So we'll try to do that again this fall.
All right. Last year, you guys had to pay, about $25,000 to properly dispose of some of these things that
yes,
the pharmaceuticals, hazardous waste. So once you get them, that's where you really that's where the grants come in. Right?
That's where it really comes in, because again, we could not do it without them. It's expensive, and number one, we live here in the Panhandle, so things have to travel, and transportation costs are expensive. And again, someone has to pick up this stuff, and someone has to dispose of it. So it does cost money, but well worth it.
All right. Very good. So put those dates on your calendar. April 12th is Earth Day. The electronics disposal is that day. May 3rd is pharmaceuticals. Put that on your calendar in case you got to get rid of pharmaceuticals. And we'll have more about both of those later on.
We will.
All right.
I'll be back, Kev.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Kev.